unusually long for me because they wanted it to be a spring title. They felt that it wasn't totally a summer beach read, but that it could almost roll into a summer beach read as a spring title. And based on the time that it was sold at the end of the summer. They couldn't do that coming spring because it was just too late. They had like just missed their window, so they had to do the spring after that, which is why it was almost 2 years. It was like, I think, 1 year and 9 months, which is pretty long. Because some people, you know, it's like 6 months or a year, or I think for most people it's usually around 1 year, though. You need a lot of lead time, and then they, of course, want to do their own edits and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, from the time that I actually started writing, and this was the first thing that I wrote, I mean, it eventually became this manuscript, to the time that it actually got published was probably 8 years.
And how many drafts do you think, roughly? Guess. Round up. Round up.
60.
60? Wow. Okay.
Something like that, yeah.
Wow.
And every time I finished it, I thought that I was done.
Yeah.
Like at the end of every draft, I was like, oh, well, now it's done.
Right.
You know? That's what I actually always tell people who are writing before they've submitted. I say, you know, not only do you need to finish it, because it's amazing how many people don't realize, and this is for fiction, but that you have to have a full manuscript to submit. You can't submit a, you know, if you're a first-time writer, you can't submit a couple of chapters. And I say, not only does it have to be finished, you have to think that this is perfect.
Yeah.
That like this is publishable shape. This is exactly how I want it to be published. And then if you're lucky, you'll get an agent, and then the agent will give you notes, and then you'll do a couple more drafts off that, and then if you're lucky, you'll sell it, and the editor will give you notes and do more drafts off of that. And I mean, because the selling process was so prolonged, and it took 2 cycles, there were just so many drafts, and at the end of each draft, I was like, okay, well now we have to be done. You know, and then you're never done, which is why I also don't read this, because if I ever dip back into it, like for reading sometimes when you go back in, I'm just like, oh no, I would have changed that. Yeah.
Did the publisher do for you as far as marketing goes, and what do you have to do? Because I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there. You get published, and you know you can kind of sit back and put your feet out.
Absolutely, and it's something that I still really struggle with. I have to say it's the most unexpected challenge of being a published author, and on the other side of it, before you get published, it sounds like, I mean, I'll just be so happy to be published that, like, I don't care, I'll do anything. And sure, you will. I mean, I'll do anything to help the promotion of the book. But the issue is that the skill set that often makes a good writer is exactly the opposite skill set for what one needs to be a good promoter of that writing. So, yeah, I was legitimately surprised by how much self-promotion, quite honestly, is involved in writing, which isn't to say that my publisher didn't do a lot and weren't really good at promoting as well. I mean, my publisher is HarperCollins. It's a major publisher. They really got behind the book. They were fantastic, but I'm not a social media person. I've still never been on Facebook. I was not asked to go on Facebook either.
How do you actually make this work? I thought you had to be on Facebook.
I know.
Does you have a website? I mean, aren't you?
I mean, before this, I had nothing. I mean, I had no website. I've never been on any form of social media whatsoever. I didn't have to go on Facebook because I think Facebook is kind of like, I passed the moment at which it was super relevant. So I think Facebook can help, of course, because most people are on Facebook in some form. But it was more about Twitter. I was told you really have to go on Twitter. Twitter is very much a writer's medium.
It's a presidential medium too now, so.
It is a presidential medium. I think a lot of readers go to Twitter after they read a book or to connect with authors. I think that's become a very well-traveled kind of way, you know, in the 21st century to connect with authors. So if you want to capitalize on that, I think you have to have a Twitter account of some sort and a website where, you know, readers can email you. And that actually is pretty nice because 99 out of 100 of those emails are just emails saying, I really enjoyed this, or it really touched me in a way, and those emails have always been great. And I haven't even had any negative experiences on Twitter. It's just that social media is just not for me. I don't enjoy it. I don't, you know, novelists write, you know, between 70 to 100,000 word usually work that is all context, and you know, it gives one the ability to communicate in a sort of like complicated, nuanced way. Twitter is the exact reverse of that. It's 140 characters. you need to be pithy and funny and clever, and I'm just not interested in doing that.
In 144 characters.
Yeah, exactly. And I just I don't enjoy it, I have to say, but I do it. So and I'm not that good. Available via HarperCollins and wherever you can buy books. Also available as an audiobook and in ebook format.
Please subscribe so my dad can make more videos like this. Thank you.